One of my earlier tips was emphasizing the importance of a proper weight shift. And I was telling you to use either a basketball, soccer ball, or one of those balance balls, the Swiss balls, and hold it in between your knees and be able to create that weight shift like this. Now I want to continue to point that out. What's really important is not just that you drop the ball or when you drop the ball, but how it drops. So I want to point that out to you right now. So as I'm setting up here, it's very important to pay attention to this sequence. Now as you can see, I'm taking my stance here. Now as I take my backswing, I'm then going to shift into my left side, my lead side as a right-handed golfer, and watch what happens to the ball. As I drop the ball, two things should be apparent. Number one, the ball dropped right down to the ground and just sat there. The other thing is, notice how I have not swung my arms. I've simply shifted. And right now, I've got about probably, I'd say 75–80% of my weight pressure into my left side right here. And just to show that, I can now pick up my foot, my right foot, like that. At the same time, it's very difficult for me to pick up my left foot because I put so much load, so much pressure into the ground right here. Now the reason why this is so important to pay attention to what my arms and the ball are doing is because what a lot of golfers will do is they'll take that golf ball and they'll do one of a couple of things. The first thing is this: they'll take their backswing and then they'll do this. Drop the ball second. So the sequence is off, and that's very much like a baseball pitcher winding up, throwing first, and then striding second. So the sequence is off. We want to make sure, we want to emphasize that the shift happens first, and then the arms swing. And that's very important to be able to separate those two. The other thing that's very important for everyone is how the ball drops. If I set up this way, and then take my backswing, and then lean into it like this, what happens is this. It's very difficult to drop the ball out. That, in a sense, is a fake shift. So what happens is because our head can be as much as 20% of our total body weight, when you get over here, you feel like you shifted. All right? It's kind of a lazy shift. I can still feel pressure in my front leg, and I can still pick up that back leg rather easily. But as I mentioned, this is a fake shift because my midsection is actually still here while my upper body's here. If you've ever played that game Jenga, it's like knocking out the middle piece of wood. So I'm here like this. Now the interesting thing, as I pointed out earlier, is I can pick up that foot. Watch what I can do with my front foot. I can actually still pick it up even though my weight's over here. So that's a big differentiation between weight and pressure. Pressure needs to be in the ground. Right now, I cannot pick up my foot. There's no way unless I either move off of it and pick it up, or actually push off of the ground and pick it up. A third thing you have to pay attention to is when you shift. If you shift with your knees moving forward like this, notice how it's tilting my body backwards. That will cause you to hit behind the ball. You may bottom out early and top the ball, hit it thin, shank it even. The other thing is watch what happens when I drop the ball. See how it doesn't come out? Because my knees are actually squeezing the ball, so it's a fake shift. Another thing that'll happen is I might actually be able to drop the ball out, but what happens is it lands on my front foot and rolls away. So remember, how the ball drops out will tell you how your shift is. So again, backswing, shift this way, the ball drops straight down. That's a sign that you're probably shifting. You're pressuring into the ground, you're creating pressure into the ground. What eventually happens is you'll be able to push off of the ground, and that's a lot of power for your golf swing.